Hi everyone! So today we're going to show you how to do conditional formatting. So conditional formatting is really great when you actually want to differentiate different things in Excel and you want some things to actually pop out. So we're using today the funnel data, customer data for Excel and Tableau that was provided in our 152 HRES class. So we're going to look at the total net sales. It's really important to look at the total net sales because that way you can actually see how well the store is performing or underperforming. And this is very critical information for managers and executives. And because of that, we want really the numbers to pop instead of scrolling through all of the lists and trying to figure out which of the stores are the best performing and the least performing. We are actually going to do conditional formatting on them. So in order to do that, we're going to highlight the total net sales and we're going to go to conditional formatting. We want to try to use the color scales because we really want the colors to show whether the source is performing or not. And you can see the different kinds of color scales that they have. Let's go to more rules so we can see how it actually looks like, because you can actually play with the colors as well. And in terms of selecting the rule type, we're just going to keep it as format all cells based on their values. And it's going to format all of the cells that we highlighted. Now, we actually want a 3-color scale because we want to differentiate between the best performing stores, the least performing stores, and the stores that are average. And because we want the stores that are average to be neutral, we're actually going to change the yellow color to white. So you can play with the colors too. And as you can see, it basically does the midpoint as the 50th percentile. So we'll just press OK now. And you can see here in the spreadsheet that the best performing stores are in green, the ones that are above average, and the stores that are below average are in red, and the stores that are average are in white. You can also see that there is different kinds of shades. So the darker the green, kind of like here, as you can see, means the store is performing very well. It's one of the best performing stores. And there's also different shades of red, meaning the darker the red, so it means the store is performing the worst. This is a really good way to actually see all of the stores and how they're performing compared to other stores. But for some people, it might look a little bit cluttered, unorganized, and there's just too many colors going on. So in order to simplify this, what we can do is we can use a different kind of conditional formatting to simplify the look of it. So let's first of all clear the conditional formatting. So we're going to highlight the column again. We're going to go to conditional formatting and then we're going to clear the rules. There are two different options. So there's clear rules from selected cells and there's clear rules from entire sheet. We want to do the clear rules from selected cells simply because if you have conditional formatting somewhere else in the sheet, we want to keep that. So we're going to use the clear rules from selected cells. So to do the other conditional formatting, we are going to highlight the total net sales, again, the whole column, and go to conditional formatting. What we want to do is that we actually want to figure out what are the top 10% of the stores that are performing the best. And for that, we're actually going to go to top-bottom rules. And you can see there's different rules from top 10 items to top 10%, as well as above, below, average, and as well for the bottom. We want to see the top 10% rather than the top 10 items because we have only 50 stores. So we're going to look and we're going to do the top 10%. And you'll see that there's a window that pops up and you can change the percentage actually of how many stores you want to see. and you can change the formatting of the color. Now, because we wanted to look at the top 10% of the stores, we're actually gonna change the color to green, because green is positive, and so that's how we associate it with. We're gonna press OK. And now we can see that the top 10% of the stores are highlighted in green. We also want to see the bottom percentage of the stores, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna highlight the column, go to conditional formatting, top bottom full cells, but this time we're gonna select bottom 10%. And this time we're gonna fill it with the red. Now, because the bottom is not a very good place for stores to be at, we actually want to look at the bottom 20%. So we are going to type in the number, press OK, and then you can see the top 10% of the stores in green and the bottom 20% of the stores in terms of total net sales in red. This really helps for manager to simplify the data. Everything kind of really pops out to them. They know what to look at, and they know which stores are performing the best and the worst. So we kind of worked with colors this time, but there is actually a lot of different fun things that you can do with conditional formatting. You have data bars, and you also have icon sets that are really fun. So one way to use the icon sets is, for example, if we want to measure the customer satisfaction that we have right here. And one way to do that, to actually just make it pop, and it's kind of more fun too, is we can again highlight the column, go to conditional formatting, and let's go to the icon sets. So because it is customer satisfaction and it's a rating, we can actually use the different rating scales here that we have. For customer satisfaction, I would like to use the different bars because our customer satisfaction is rating from 0 to 10. We have 5 bar ratings here. And so we are going to choose this. And you can immediately see that the higher the satisfaction is, the more bars they have. And the less the satisfaction they have, the lowest the bars they have. And this is just a really kind of cool way to see whether the stores are performing well or not, and whether it's because of customer satisfaction or not. So hopefully this video was able to kind of help you a little bit more with conditional formatting. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with the conditional formatting, and you can just play with them as much as you want to, different colors and the different icons you have. And hopefully you learned something today. Thank you.